Question 918. What is the most useless piece of information you have been taught at school?
That Columbus discovered America because it was fucking true, and he was a terrible person.
Yeah. I mean that one's just a straight up lie. So it. I don't know.
But he sailed the ocean blue. He has a song and everything.
He was also a terrible explorer.
Yeah, nobody asked what the Vikings were doing a couple hundred years before that. But
oh, did you see the thing I retweeted this morning?
Really discover a continent that's already inhabited.
Did you see the thing I tweeted this morning?
Well, now you can't blame Columbus for the words and sentences that the marketers put on the deal. You know,
he was still a really fucking bad dude.
Oh, absolutely, but I wouldn't.
He was an asshole
for the bad advertising.
Well, yeah. I mean,
there's
the thing
a lot
is,
of other things you could blame
he
him
had
for,
friendly biographers.
And that's gone up until like recent times as well. If anyone's seen that fucking awful movie 1492 Conquest of Paradise, which was a puff piece on a film that's a puff piece on Columbus. Apart from the really good soundtrack by Vangelis, but that film is just fucking awful.
I'd say the most useless thing I learned in school, which was also very much a lie, was in U.S. history. They taught us that. What was the line in the history book? It was because I remember reading it and getting so pissed off. I was a junior in high school. It said African slaves were the only enslaved people in the Americas known to propagate themselves while they were enslaved.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, when someone has a gun to your head and is saying "fuck" or "I'll shoot you," yeah, you might do that.
To be honest,
sorry.
I can
I
see that a lot of this is going to be history related with this stuff, isn't it? Because
No,
I would say my answer
to the mole song, but it helped me remember what a mole was.
No,
What do you want us to talk about, Jeff? English lit?
I was taught in high school.
One at a time!
God damn it!
I was
Jen!
taught in high school that homosexuals are perverts, and those sex change people are sick.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm a pervert. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. But we can enjoy that term now.
That completely.
Only when Julie's around, though.
Manda's jealous.
I have a crush on B, and it's obvious. She knows it.
Jeff.
Yeah, I just like flirting with her.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause she's
I
sweet
can't
and
hide
cute.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Jeff.
Right, yeah. The British Empire was all about a civilizing mission to the world, and it was an altruistic thing.
Oh, just...
little things like I don't know, strapping Indians to cannons and blowing the fuck out of them wasn't getting mentioned. Kind of
what?
Look up the so-called Indian mutiny, what they did to the sepoys, or the fact that they could have saved the lives of a lot of people in Ireland, but chose not to.
And what gets me is the political decision there.
Yeah, the food was there. They just decided not to send it.
Yeah, which is actually.
Sorry,
I don't want to get too much far off track, but you'll find that is probably the case with most famines over the last at least 150 years or so.
Did you watch the latest Philosophy Tube video? Latest Philosophy Tube video?
No, I haven't.
Because he talked about
when
how...
Jeff said... Oh,
go
sorry.
on. No, go on.
No, I was just too excited. When Jeff said civilizing, I heard syphilizing, and I was like, yeah, totally, yeah, did that. That's why I laughed so hard with you.
That shit'll rot your brain.
Yeah, anyway, go ahead, Dave, I apologize.
No, not important. Julie, what was your most useless piece?
Oh, I said it already. It was that basically they were trying to say that having African slaves in the U.S. was okay because they prospered here and had kids. And it's like, no, it's not.
Oh, you do live in
And
the
that is
South.
some
You do live in the South.
bullshit. I was so angry. I was furious. And
That's
that
funny
was
you
in
say
my
that, Julie.
that was in my AP
Go
US
ahead.
history textbook.
No.
Yeah.
You
I got
Crafty
college
said-
credit for that shit.
Wow. Now what state was that? I really gotta know.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Mhm.
I went to high school in Wisconsin, and my AP, I don't know what you call it, social studies or whatever that department is called, was called Contemporary World Events, and it was a legitimate class where the primary focus was to read and disassemble journalism from around the country, and to understand the basic dynamic or the basic definitions of the various parties and what they were, including socialism, where speakers from those parties actually came into class. We were taught about socialism by a socialist.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they'd allow that down here. That's amazing.
That was in 1972. So that was pretty progressive shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, mind you, I would say in general, my secondary school education, politics either way was very. It was never gotten into like in a hard way.
We got no politics in
Just say.
secondary school.
No, so it was never. It was something. We talk about like things that you could say are political issues or whatever, but there was not really much was given to obviously, contemporary politics or anything like that. So.
Right, Crafty Keeler says, yeah, I studied the famine from an economic perspective. It was definitely man-made.
I would agree with that, Keeler.
Yeah.
Ricardo says, heliocentric theory.
Ricardo, I just read something really cool. If you want to hear it.
Go on then.
Sorry, I was not reading scientific articles while you guys were talking. That they have this theory now that the source of life in the Milky Way galaxy comes from the explosion of white dwarfs.
Oh, cool.
That doesn't surprise me. Interesting.
You said it doesn't surprise you?
And you say you atheists have no religion.
Oh, God. Nice impression. That was good.
I'm not as good as what One Ring can do.
Oh,
Just
One
like
Rings
that,
is
really.
amazing.
One Rings is
Dr. Josh off of Digital Hammurabi, I think, does the best one.
Rainbow says, oh, we got the Red Scare version in our economics class. Chad Hall says,
Oh, there you go.
You had the Red Scare?
Well, just the tail end of it. It was the 80s. So, yeah, the most useless thing that was the most egregious thing I ever learned, what I talked about earlier. But the most useless thing was duck and cover. That was the most useless thing, for sure. Because that was not going to help.
But it'll save you from a nuclear bomb!
You had duck and cover? What?
So, yeah, I think
What years were you in elementary school?
I was in elementary school, so I was about 8. It would have been in 1985. And
Really? That late?
Kidding me?
We did duck and cover. Now, we did it for earthquakes as well. So there it made a little bit of sense because we had these desks and we could all crawl under our desks. So that's how, and then for tornadoes, we had tornado drills. We didn't have straight up like nuclear drills, and we certainly didn't have active shooter drills because we were lucky, I guess. But yeah, we did learn about the old duck and cover for.
See, if I was now,
during the Cold War.
what if there was something for the if it'd been me during the 1980s and I could have taught kids something about nuclear war, I would have shown them the movie Freds. Yes, that would have traumatized the fuck out of them, but we probably would have like unilateral nuclear disarmament now if everyone had to watch that fucking movie.
And just says
Which movie?
Freds.
Freds?
Yeah. Let's just put it this way. Do you know how America had that TV movie The Day After?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was Britain. Fred's is like Britain watched that and said, "Hold my beer."
All
Have you
right.
ever seen
The actor is traumatizing.
the British film The Bed Sitting Room?
I've heard of it. I'm not sure. I may have done. I have. The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, track that one down. It's an interesting film.
Stool says Threads was a proper giggle.
Oh dear.
I had duck and cover stuff too, but that was in like early 60s.
Yeah.
59 through 64.
Well, like I said,
stuff.
we learned about it. We didn't actually. We had duck and cover drills for earthquakes because Western Kentucky is on a fault line, and for
tornadoes.
Yeah, were the actual drills we did. But then we learned about duck and cover for nuclear stuff, and we were like, seriously, that's not going to help.
It goes over you. I've seen the
actually
film.
had a salesman for home underground nuclear shelters come to the house and try to sell us one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. I know it's your job to read out the comments in the chat, but there is just something I want to address there. Brain Bug just said about anyone get the evils of marijuana, of course.
Oh, I was a DARE kid. Are you kidding? I learned everything about drugs from DARE.
Damn. I'll just say any education we had relating to drugs was shit.
Yeah.
That's all I would say.
Yep.
It was a bunch of propaganda, misinformation, but they taught you what everything looked like, including paraphernalia, which was useful later.
I mean,
They never taught me paraphernalia.
The worst one, the one I fucking hate this to this day, is that pot is a gateway drug.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Aspirin is the gateway drug.
Yeah, seriously.
Aunt Jer says, I went to a private Christian school up until 9th grade, about age 15. So I learned a lot of useless things. Hanging with John Wilde says, home economics, waste of time of which people argue with him. Harmonica Man says, I was abandoned at 14 and had to lie about my age in order to work. Those saying school kids was pretty fucking useless to me. That sounds too sad.
That is rough.
Apparently weed is the devil's lettuce. Beth!
Sorry. That always gets me, the devil's lettuce.
You're muted,
what's
honey.
going on? You're muted, Dave, I think.
No, I'm not.
No.
Oh, B
Sorry.
was muted. Oh, never mind. Sorry, Dave.
I was basically taught that slavery was the fault of the tribes in Africa because they sold their people, not
Fuck me,
because
so
we
was I.
bought them and abused them.
Not because we were willing to buy them in the first place.
Yeah, and greatly profited off of their misery. Yeah.
That we created the market.
Yeah, no, it was all the tribal chiefs' fault because they were willing to sell their own people. That's what we were taught, basically. Yeah.
We outsourced the capture.
That's what you get when you go to a school in an area surrounded by KKK.
Yeah.
That's disturbing.
God damn it.
Oh, I believed it for a long time.
I definitely think there's a...
My teachers, that's basically what the teacher said in a roundabout way. So I was like, oh, well, what the fuck?
Oh, wait, I got
They
an
did
answer.
it to themselves. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm raising my hand. Fuck.
It's probably the best thing to do.
Because we're talking about school, and you were like, what?
That
Teacher-
Pluto was a planet, which I said it wasn't. Wrote a paper on it 9 years before it was published that they said they decided it wasn't a planet. So
Oh, well
everybody
done.
in my school that fucking laughed at me about
But
that
which
shit.
which
Pissed
reason
on me
did you
about
give?
it.
Which reason did you give?
I gave a few. I did give the dwarf planet thing. I also said it was possible that it was part of the Oort cloud or a piece of the Kuiper belt.
Nice.
But it was most
See,
likely that it was
that's
just
not
a
fair
dwarf
because they
planet.
didn't even know those things existed when I was in school.
I was not
They did.
taught that those things existed in school, but I imagine, I don't know, someone
they didn't.
definitely
It's
knew
not
by
really
the time I was
like
in school.
they didn't teach. That was
Kuiper Belt
something that I looked into
I just said
myself.
me. I just said me. Like, by the time I was in, like,
No,
high
when-
school, they knew that existed, I think.
We
I wasn't
had
taught
I had a class in high school that was for all 4 years. It was 2 periods a day of science. We covered all the sciences, so it was a special class, and we had to write a thesis paper every year. So for my senior year, that was my thesis, and everybody in my class just like everybody wrote in my fucking yearbook, ha ha ha, Pluto's a planet, like that shit. And then 9 years
Wow.
later, they came out with it that it wasn't. So fuck them all.
Well, just
Do you think
imagine
someone might have stolen your paper?
What?
Do you think someone might have stolen your paper?
My high school paper, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was going to say that that's a good one in a way because most of us have been about a history thing, and Amanda was a science thing. Now, I suppose to try and be fair, that was the conventional thinking at the time that Pluto was a planet. History's kind of borne you out on that one, Amanda. I think.
Not convinced.
You're not convinced?
Hold on. Don't.
No, I am convinced about the separate designation.
Finish.
No.
So, I mean, I wonder how many people actually realise that there is actually like 5 dwarf planets in our solar system.
There are more
Yeah.
than that.
Are you
At least
counting
five.
Ceres? Are you counting Ceres?
Yeah, absolutely. Serious, yeah.
Okay.
Eris.
Mechanic, what's the other one called? Oh, darn, that's
I forget.
Into
this is
an
the
age,
problem.
but-
Right, the problem I've got is
right.
right. Okay, if you want it, my issue is that we should really have gone the other way.
The other one
What do
is
you mean the other way?
Hervey
We should have gone that we have planets and we have major planets.
But then you would also have to categorize like super planets when it comes to gas giants.
Yes, well, you could have 3 categorizations then. Which has been
Why
taught
do you
before.
I'm sorry. I don't like the definition of planets at all. I think a planet's a planet if it has a solid surface. These gas giants are just a bunch of hot air. As far as I'm concerned, yes, I know it was a bad pun. But
It was.
I enjoyed
I don't
it.
think of them as planet. I think of them
Right.
as
We're going to start a riot.
I'm part.
Hey, I'm working on this. Protostars that don't have enough gumption to light up.
Yeah, but that's the problem, though, that they're not protostars, regardless. So
I think they're closer to protostars than they are planets with solid surface.
No, there's a reasonable chance it has a solid surface.
yeah,
And just for the record, I'm starting the Flat Cirrus Society.
degree in astrophysics. Just saying.
I mean, for all we know, at this point, Jupiter could be this globe that's orbiting the sun, and it's only 1,000 miles in diameter, and the next 30,000 miles is just a gigantic fart. It's
Yes.
Which would make it
giant
more of a
planet.
dwarf planet than a protostar.
Well, sure, but the point is not whether it's a protostar or not. The point in that comment is
It's a planet with a thick atmosphere.
we don't really know what it is, and how dare you call it a planet when that could just be a bunch of clouds? Does that make Venus bigger than we think it is because it's got a bunch of clouds? No.
All right, but do you count
bigger?
liquids? Because it might have. It's probably got Jupiter's probably got a reasonable sized planetary core. Right, but then it's got a liquid ocean of metallic hydrogen. Right, so does that count because it's an ocean?
Well, they think. They don't know.
Okay,
moving on.
Next
For all we know,
question.
the core of Jupiter could be just a big flat disk.
Right. No. You're a troublemaker. Shh.
Yeah. I thought that'd go over a lot better. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just staying in my lane. I'm like, you want to talk literary criticism? I'm your girl, but right now I'm just like, la la la, astronomy, lots of math. I don't know.
Right.
I appreciate that, Julie. Thank you.
No problem.
I think it's obvious that I'm pretty much a math failure.
Oh, you're fine.
No, I'm a math failure.
Oh, yeah, well.
They're arguing about Pluto in the chat, so.
Are you
okay.
fucking shitting me? I didn't even look. You guys, assholes. All of you. Just
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.